Welcome to Common Curiosities Retirement, where we aim to help people learn financial strategies they may want to use in their own life, all while trying to avoid the intimidation or boredom of classic financial meetings. Here's your host, my husband, Michael Custer.
Welcome back to Common Curiosities. Today is a special day. Usually it's just me, but I actually have my wife here. She has the afternoon, evening off from her rotations, and she showed up at the office and we had some time. So can open the door up. She always asks me questions and they're great. So I'm just going to open the door and she can ask questions because if she's asking it, typically a lot of other people are kind of considering it and go from there.
Yeah, so glad to be here. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. I guess some things just to start that I feel like are commonly asked by people and that come up a lot in conversation. People don't know what to do with a little extra money. So say I have my first job or, you know, in my example, I had a little extra money because I worked a couple jobs in college and I just let it sit in like a savings account in my bank account and make, I don't know, a cent or two a year. But it was safe and I knew where it was and it was just living there. But is there a better option for someone who likes to play it safe but wants to keep their money somewhere where they can kind of see it, kind of get to it if they need it, but maybe not spending it right now?
Yeah. So with that, first off, I got to be careful because none of this is recommendations. This is just all what I would consider doing. I have to say that for compliance. For someone like you or someone very young where we don't know when we're going to spend it or what it's for.
There you go.
Yeah, you're very, very young. The checking account can be a great way of just keeping money in and you know it's there. If you're trying to
But
make
even like a savings account separate from a checking account.
correct. So
Same thing.
yeah, for me, I pretty much treat a checking and savings as the same thing. I don't really use a savings account.
Mm.
I do use a checking to pay all those bills.
Yeah.
Now, if it's something I'm going to want to spend that money in the next year or two, I typically would look at, say, like a high yield savings account or a money
Okay.
market fund. Essentially, it's cash. They're
Okay.
just
But
paying you some interest. So, how that works is so the bank will take your money, put it in a checking account, pay you 0.01%.
okay.
And then the more money they can get, the more they can loan out for homes and cars and such.
Sure.
And to get more money, they might say, hey, we'll give you, could be 2, 3, 4, 5%, depending on the interest rate environment. So yeah, you could look at a high yield savings account or a money market fund.
What's a money market fund? What's
A money market is kind of it's like a fund of very short, usually treasury bills.
what makes it money market? Sounds like a grocery store that you go to for
Where
money.
does the name come from? I don't know where the name come from.
Okay.
It's
Just
just always
another
been
account kind of that you can save your money in, but you can make a little bit more interest on it.
correct.
Can I get to it if I need it?
Yes, it's very typically liquid. The downsides here are typically, let's say, especially if you have it at a different bank, like an online bank or something.
Okay.
If you want to
What's
get it,
an example of an online?
I can't,
Oh,
I
okay.
can't
All
recommend
right.
any specific banks, but
Okay.
there's
Moving on.
online. Typically, an online bank might pay you more because they don't have those brick and mortar buildings, so they can
Okay.
pass some of those savings along. So you want to make sure it's FDIC insured,
Okay.
and then the downsides are typically you might be able to only have a certain transaction out of there every couple months. So yeah, it's 5 or 10 transactions a month.
So a certain number, not a certain amount.
Correct. So
So say my very dear 2011 car has some issues, I can take out $3,000 to fix my car.
correct. So
Okay.
most people there, like if it's your emergency fund or you're saving for a car, like you're not going to touch it 5, 10 times a month.
But it takes a couple days to get it out.
It could
It's
take
not
2,
immediate.
3, 4 business days, depending on how fast the banks talk. Typically, if it's at the same bank, it might go quicker, but a lot of times you're at a different bank. Um, So it might take a couple days and there might be so it's not the one you pay all your bills out of typically,
Right.
but you should make
But it's there
more
if I need it.
interest. Yep.
Okay. That will save me a little bit more.
Yep.
Okay. And then, so that's what I do with my money that I might need to fix my car or to deal with my issues. Maybe, to
Mhm.
go on a shopping trip or two. I don't know.
Yes. TJ Maxx and
TJ Maxx. Strictly,
how
you're
many
saving
pillows
money
you
by
need.
shopping at TJ Maxx.
That's girl math.
That's girl math. Yeah. Today I made a return, so I made like $70. It was pretty exciting. So then I bought some tonks. They were basically free.
For
So
what? A salad?
for like flipping bacon,
We don't even eat bacon.
for flipping chicken.
Okay. Sweet.
But they were basically free, so that was really exciting.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so I have that money that I need for TJ
Yep.
Maxx in my car, but what about money that I don't need? Maybe I have a little bit of extra and I don't need to touch it. Maybe it's just like 1,000, but maybe it's a couple thousand and I don't need it. So where could I put it that would serve me later in life?
Um, so we don't know what we're gonna do with it. It could be anywhere in the next.
Yeah, maybe I want to save for retirement a little bit or set myself up for success in the future.
Okay, so if it's like retirement, then you could look at like an IRA account or a
Mhm.
Roth IRA where you could put in now I say you're making a deal with the government when you put it in retirement.
Yeah.
They will give us some very nice tax benefits,
Hmm.
but if you take it before that retirement age at 59 and a half is where they kind of let you use it.
59 and a half, folks.
Yes,
The half matters.
it does. So if you take it before there, so especially when you're really young, not that you're super, but if you're a teenager,
Oh, wait a minute. What? I was super young a little bit ago.
you know what I'm saying? Like if you're like, I don't know what to do with it. If you put it in that retirement account, it's kind of hard to get it out. There's things.
But you just should leave it there until you're 59
You
and
should
a
plan
half.
on leaving it there.
Yeah.
If it's, I might use this, maybe not for retirement, but not in the next couple of years. Typically, there's like some people call them a brokerage account
Okay.
or a non-retirement account, a flexible account. Um, essentially, you can move money in there, and
Hmm.
there's no limit. So
Okay.
you could put as much in there as you want. You can take as much out as you want. You can trade. So it's kind of like a bank account, but you
Sure.
can buy a
But is
bunch
this
of things.
making like savings money for us as similar as like a high yield savings account, or what's a brokerage account doing that's anything better than a high yield savings?
That's a good question. So great question. So once you move it in there, you can buy whatever your custodian will allow you to buy.
Just pick your favorite janitor.
Correct.
Mhm.
Janitors. So you could buy a lot of things. You could buy it. You could put a money market fund in there. You could use a CD, or you could buy stocks,
CD. You always say
index.
CD. It's what we like. We would burn those, to put
Yes.
some songs on it.
Yes. Yep.
No, what CD actually stand for?
A certificate of deposit. I use that. A
Oh,
lot of people are aware of those. So a
yeah.
lot of people buy them at the bank, so they know what those are. You
Yeah.
could buy those in a
A lot
brokerage
of
account.
people, not a lot of super young people know. Okay. So back to I feel like the things that people talk a lot about
Yep.
are IRA accounts.
Yep.
The like common retirement account,
Yep.
I suppose that people use. So I guess first, I'm sure you've made a podcast on this before, but who the heck is Roth? What's the difference between a Roth? Why do they get their name on stuff? It has to do with
Uh,
taxes.
the Roth. That's
We
kind
don't
of
actually
interesting.
care who it is. Oh,
It
it's
it
interesting.
it was
Okay.
actually, the guy's name, I think his last name was Roth,
It's
and
probably not
he was
interesting.
a big component in getting it going, and they named that one after him.
Shout out Mr. Roth.
Yeah, so, like, the 401k, I think that's just the
That
law that
hopefully that's
started
somebody's
it.
name.
Yeah,
401k.
yeah.
Mr. 401k.
I don't know,
Yeah.
Roth got his name on it,
All
the
right.
other.
Mr. Roth, thank
Okay.
you. What did Mr. Roth do for us?
He's the one that said, "Hey, we're in the government. What if we collect our taxes now on this money?"
Hmm.
And so they came out with that, and they were like, "Well, we wouldn't let you tax us now and tax us in retirement on that money."
Right. You only get your taxes once.
Correct. So the government said, "Well, if you pay us the taxes now and you follow those specific rules, we won't tax you in retirement."
Yeah. They get their taxes, so they get a little bit of money, but then like my money later when I want it, I don't have to pay taxes on it when I 59 and a half if I get it out.
Correct. So you're
So
kinda
it's
trying to.
also like there's a game that you can play of like, okay, well, if I'm going to be in a higher tax bracket later, I might as well pay the taxes now when I'm young and not making as much versus when I'm older and maybe having more of an income.
Correct. You're trying to play the game against the government. How can I pay you the least amount in taxes over my life? Should I do write-offs now or
Mhm.
later? Um,
It's kind
yeah.
of like this might be bad. I don't even know if I should say this. It's kind of like the Starbucks app where you like put your money in now and then you just like get your drink later and you don't have to put money in. You
Correct.
already paid
Yeah.
the money to Starbucks, so it's just there.
It's like free
It's
at
like
that point.
free. So,
You wanna know the map that was a great idea by Starbucks because they get the money in there and then they can invest it.
right.
It
So
makes the
similar,
interest on
great
it.
idea by by the government. They get their taxes now, your money just hangs out.
Eh,
But you can play the game if
yeah,
you want to make it a better idea for the humans.
it could be a huge win for the government. I think sometimes it could be a
A
huge
big
win
win
in
for
your own favor.
right. So we want to make it so that it's that way. Okay, so we've kind of established what an IRA account versus a Roth IRA is. We're saving for retirement. You can kind of play the game of like, do you want to pay your taxes now or pay your taxes later?
Yep.
now is the Roth situation. Just a traditional IRA would be you pay the taxes later when you're taking it out.
Yeah, so traditional IRA, you're taking a write-off. It's like
Mm.
write-off Seinfeld
Yeah,
or
everybody's
Schitt's Creek,
favorite thing.
write-off. So if you put in $5,000, you wouldn't be taxed on that.
No,
Which
but you are when you take it out.
correct. So if that 5,000 turns into hypothetically 10, 20, 50, or whatever it turns into,
And you pay the taxes based on what bracket you're in at the moment that you're taking it
correct.
out.
So if you're 30, 40, 50 now, you don't know what tax bracket you'll be when you're 60, 70, 80, 90.
You can kind of project to some degree if you work with a financial advisor.
Look, we have no idea. We've seen brackets in the 90s. We've seen brackets in the low digits, single digits.
True, because the brackets can change based on the
You
government.
don't know
Based
who's
on
going to be in office.
True.
When I say the high 90s is, I think that was during the war, so a little different, but you don't know. Well, I don't want to get political, but
Right.
who's in the office and what their tax strategy.
Regardless.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pay the taxes when we take it out.
Yeah.
Based on a tax.
But if you're
bracket that you're
afraid,
in at that time.
yeah, if you think I'm going to make more in the future, I'm going to retire and hire in, or uh, they're going to change brackets.
So it sounds like, man, when I'm young, I want to take advantage of the Roth IRA if I have money to.
I can't say yes or no to that, but usually when you're in your 20s and 30s and 40s, maybe you're not making the most and you have a
Right.
six. So they say, well, I'm going to make more in my 50s. It's the average peak earners. So they
Yeah.
say, well, I'm going to go up brackets later. So maybe I pay taxes more now,
Yeah.
take
So,
deductions when I'm in a higher bracket later.
yeah. So when can you start putting money in a Roth IRA? Say someone's really ambitious. At what age? I worked a lot growing up.
Yep.
Say I wanted to start putting money in a Roth IRA at
Yep.
a younger age. How old do I have to be in order to do this?
So this one, I didn't know this. So when I was 18, I started one. I thought that was the age. So technically to be the
Sense.
owner of it, you have to be 18.
Okay.
However, there is what's a custodial Roth. So I do have clients who are, 14, 15, 16 that have them. You put it in it's a custodial Roth. It's typically in a parent's name.
Okay.
You could fund it. And then when the kid becomes 18 or whatever it is in your state, and Michigan's 18, you
They
move it to
become
their name. Yep. So there's really not an age limit, but the big one is you have to have income, like earned income. So the trick is like a 12-year-old typically doesn't have earned income.
Right.
But if they're 15, 16 and they're in high school and they work a job over break, they have income. Then
Yeah.
they could put their own money in there, or that's where a parent or a grandparent the kid doesn't have to fund it. They just have to have the income.
Yeah. You might not be able to answer this on the podcast,
Yeah.
but if you can, does it have to be income that's like a W-2, like you have to be able to prove it tax-wise, or could it be income like I was a babysitter and I made income, pretend under the table income? Can it be
It has to be earned, like the government, it has
earned income means you have to pay taxes on the income. It
correct.
has to be like an
If you
income that's
hypothetically somehow made money from babysitting in cash that you didn't claim, which
if anyone hypothetically ever did such a thing.
correct, nobody would do that. You have to have earned income.
Okay. Okay. So it has to be
Now, standard deduction there. So even if you make 10 grand, your federal taxes would probably be zero there.
It's going to be low if you're not making a lot of money, if it's just a summer job, but it has to be a summer job where you were an employee somewhere and had some sort of, forms that you were an employee. Okay. So we talked about how young. Okay. Good. Oh, and my other question, is there ever a point where I can't contribute to a Roth IRA?
The biggest typically there is when you retire, you can't, because you don't have any more income.
Yeah.
So like if you have Social
Back to your
Security,
income thing, even if you're babysitting your grandkids hypothetically under the table.
correct. If your kids
Not
pay you to
income.
baby, yes.
Okay.
Now, if your spouse is still working, you can still fund yours.
So just someone has to be working in the relationship.
So one of you, if you're married, has to have the earned income to be able to fund it. Yeah.
So you're going to keep working. So I can.
Correct.
Okay.
To the day I die.
Perfect. Okay. But there's no like cap on you make X amount of money so you can't contribute to a Raw.
There is. So that's where it gets tricky. So with Ross, anybody can contribute, but if you make too much, they actually don't allow you to. So they call it a phase out, which is kind of a fancy way of just saying you're making too much. The government's not going to give you that benefit.
So you can't contribute to a Roth IRA, but could you contribute to a traditional one in that instance?
Potentially. So let's go to the Roth. The Roth, I think it's 2025. If you make more than it's around 240, 236 to 240 something. If you and your
Is
spouse
that
make
your pre-tax or your after
it's
tax?
your modified adjusted gross income,
Right.
which is a different one than before.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Long story short, if you're close to that number, you got to look at it. If you're over it, there is a thing called the backdoor Roth,
Yeah.
which has the government didn't really try to make that available. They didn't.
Mr. Roth missed
They
something.
missed it. But so you have the option, and you could put it in a non-deductible IRA and convert it to. Long story short, it's possible. If
See your neighborhood financial
correct,
advisor.
if you have IRA money, it makes that trickier. With the IRA, that has a unique rule. That income limit is
Just
actually
the
a lot
traditional.
lower. Yep.
Okay.
So if you don't see Roth on 401ks, 403bs, IRAs,
Yeah.
if it just says the name, it's going to be traditional pre-tax.
Okay. Wait a minute. So all of these numbers are all types of IRA accounts?
Um, yeah. So 401k, 403b,
Yeah.
those are the most common that you run through your employer.
So IRA is the group, and then below it, those are subtypes, or what's
It would really be a retirement account. And then inside of there, yeah, it's a great question. So IRA stands for individual retirement accounts.
retirement? So then under the retirement umbrella,
Under the retirement bucket umbrella, you could have
I like umbrella. Let's do umbrella.
so umbrella. You could have 457 deferred comp, defined
So all of
benefits.
these are different types of
Yes.
retirement accounts.
The most common are 401k
Yeah.
and 403b.
So if we're saying Roth 401k, is it a Roth IRA? Is it a Roth 401k? Like they all get Roth in front of
That's
them?
where it's different. So
Okay, so we're just in the traditional umbrella.
yes, let's say you have a 401k, a 403b, or a simple IRA, those type of things. They're gonna run through your payroll at work.
Yeah.
So sometimes it works great for people because they can set up, hey, before I even see my paycheck, I want this amount to go in there.
Which is great for a lot of people.
Yes, maybe
it takes the mental work out.
Takes a lot of the mental work out. Somebody who sees the money
You
and
don't
spends
have
it.
to grow math anything. It just goes.
Someone who sees the money goes to TJ Maxx and buys a tong thing.
I don't have a buying problem.
You don't. You're right. Those are great. So they are retirement accounts.
Okay.
An IRA does not run through your employer.
So they're separate. They don't live under the umbrella of IRA. They're separate types of accounts.
Correct.
Okay.
So there you say, okay, but then you can attach the word Roth.
So individual goes because it's not running through your employer. You're the one that's contributing to the IRA.
Yep.
But the 401k, 403b, those are also retirement accounts, but they're contributed. You could have your work contribute to them.
Correct.
And typically it's like a match sort of deal. They're not just like the only one funding it.
Most of the time you're going to have a match. So then people say, well, if it's an IRA, it's my own outside, which is yes. But then you can throw a simple IRA and a SEP IRA saying, oh, those are outside my employer. I could use those. Those are employer plans too.
Oh, so there's some modifiers.
Correct.
So the 401k, 403b, those follow the same rule as the traditional IRA that you're paying the taxes when you take the money out later on.
Yes. So if you see 401k, 403b IRA, the taxes are going to be similar. There's differences on how much you can contribute and what investment options you have and those type of things.
Sure.
If
because
you see Roth,
in these accounts, the money is invested and that's how it grows. So
correct.
It's not just like sitting in this account. The money is going somewhere and doing something in order to make money for
correct.
you.
So if you typically, if you sign up for your 401k, they will just default it to a target date fund.
Sure.
So you don't have to go and invest it. You can opt out of it and choose your own, but it's going to at least be invested.
It's nice for most of us to just say like, do the thing.
Correct.
I'll see it.
For a lot of people, it makes it easier and simpler where your IRA, they might not automatically invest it. So it could, so I've seen it where I've seen people put it in for 5-10 years. It's just sitting in cash. So
that would be awful.
It happens.
I would probably cry.
You would cry if the market was really good, but if the market was bad, then you're happy. Fine. But yeah, you have to make sure you're picking whatever position.
If yours is an account that is that way.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So then you were saying, so those are the traditional bucket umbrella. And then now we were talking about Roth. So the 401k, 403b could also have Roth in front of it.
Yes. You could have Roth 401k, Roth 403b, Roth IRA.
The distinction between when you're paying the tax.
Yeah. So let's say you see IRA, Roth IRA, 401k, Roth 401k. The only difference is when you see the 401k, pretty much everything's the same except when you're going to pay your tax.
Okay.
They both get tax deferred growth, but when you're paying your taxes, Roth, you don't. Some people think you pay more tax. So if you have a
Mm,
Roth and it hits your bank account, most people already withheld their taxes.
right.
So you don't get extra taxes than you're normally getting, where if you just get the cash,
Mm, I
you
see.
just move it to your Roth account. And then that's kind of saying the government, you don't get taxed anymore on this.
Yeah.
Or if you have it in a brokerage account or a bank account, they can still get taxes on that money.
Okay.
So
I
yeah,
think
it's
that's
a
what I
lot more
have
impressive.
on retirement and I don't know, general things to do with your money when you have a little extra.
Nice. Good. Good questions.
Great. Well, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. We hope you learned something. Um, and continue to subscribe and listen to this guy talk about all things
Thanks.
finance and strategy and the fun that is his world. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
I don't like my hair. Hold on.
Let's make sure we're on the same page. This is general educational info, not personal advice. We don't know your goals or financial situation. Before making any decisions, it's always recommended to talk to a qualified professional who can tailor guidance to your specific needs after learning more about you. Here are some more exciting disclosures to help make this even more clear. This information is not intended to be a substitute for specific individualized tax or investment advice. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA/SIPC. Investment advice offered through Harborfront Financial Group, a registered investment advisor. Harborfront Financial Group and Custer Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial. Investment advice will only be given after a client engages our services by executing the appropriate investment services agreement. Harborfront Financial Group DBA Custer Financial Advisors CFA is a registered investment advisor RIA. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training, and the content of this communication has not been approved or verified by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission or by any state securities authority. Custer Financial Advisors renders individualized investment advice to persons in a particular state only after complying with the state's regulatory requirements or pursuant to an applicable state exemption or exclusion. All investments carry risk. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect from loss of capital. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Advisory services offered through Harborfront Financial Group, CRD number 331763,